Welcome to the Sweep College Baseball Weekend Series predictions, where we take 5 of the best upcoming weekend series and try to predict the results of what's going to happen. On screen now, you can see our current records. I currently sit at 30 and 25, and Kevin sits at 24 and 31. So we choose super difficult series to predict. And sometimes come out on the losing end, but hopefully this week we can start picking up some quality wins, and especially a series that we agree on. We get those wins and boost the overall cumulative record. But we'll start this week's prediction, week 12 of college baseball, with number 2 Arkansas going to number 9 Kentucky. Arkansas has struggled recently on offense. The pitching has definitely led the way for the whole season, but especially recently, the offense has definitely come up with a little more struggles than maybe they had previously throughout the season. And we've seen that more happening on the road, especially with the pitching not looking as electric on the road, just kind of what happens in home road splits for the most part. But Kentucky, also a team that has hit its struggles recently for the first time this season. They had back-to-back conference series losses. So definitely both teams looking to right some of their wrongs in different ways. But I think when looking at the grand scheme of things, Arkansas is in that top tier of the SEC, and Kentucky is kind of right behind that in that second tier with teams like Mississippi State, Alabama, Vanderbilt, while Arkansas is up there with Texas A&M and Tennessee in that kind of realm. Even though Kentucky's record proves to that they should be maybe considered one of the top, just don't think they show necessarily what we've seen recently, that level of just completeness for teams. So I'm going to go with Arkansas here on the road, be able to pick up the series and give Kentucky their third straight conference series loss.
Yeah, I agree that Arkansas is just a step ahead in that upper tier of the SEC, and I do think they take this series on the road as well. I think it'll be a little more low scoring than Kentucky's used to. I think that Arkansas pitching staff will be able to hold them to some limited run amounts, and I think Arkansas's offense will be able to do just enough to get them the series win on the road.
Yeah. And next up, we have number 12 NC State going to number 6 Florida State. Both teams looking really good right now. Florida State has struggled a few weeks ago, but that was when 2 of their starting pitchers were out, and NC State seemingly plays up and down to their competition. But recently they have just started playing overall a lot more consistent, even against teams that they should be beating. So it's good to see NC State getting that consistency up. But I think Florida State maybe is just too much for them this week, especially at home. And takes that series.
Yeah, I really like this Florida State team overall. I do like NC State as well, but I think Florida State's just a little more well-rounded and consistent, and I'm going to go ahead and pick them for the third week in a row here. I think them being at home again gives them the edge as well, and I think they'll be able to take this one.
Yeah, definitely. And now going back to the SEC, we have number 18 Alabama going to number 13 Mississippi State. Both teams kind of in that second tier, like we mentioned previously, of the SEC. But I think Mississippi State has the better resume overall. They've been able to chip away at some wins from the top teams and what we may have considered the top teams earlier in the season, like LSU and Florida. Apparently, those aren't the top teams now, but Mississippi State was still able to get those wins when they were considered that and were riding momentum. So you can't really look past it that much, even though those teams have fallen off a lot. So I'm going to go with Mississippi State here. I think they've shown just a little bit more overall. I think Alabama's pitching can make any game close, but Mississippi State at home, just bringing that energy from the crowd, brings them up another notch.
Yeah, I'm also going to go with Mississippi State here. I think this could be a very competitive series, but I think Mississippi State is one of the more undervalued teams across the country in polls and just media in general. I think they're a very solid club, and I think they'll be able to take this one, especially given the edge at home. If they were on the road, I might go with Bama here, but I'll take Mississippi State at home.
Yep. And next up, we have number 17 Louisiana going to unranked Troy here in the Sun Belt. Should be really exciting games. Louisiana had a little bit of struggles a few weeks ago, but back on top of things, and Troy has looked very, very good recently. They're very hot. I think it's going to be very hard for Louisiana to come in and play their best, especially with how Troy just dismantled Coastal Carolina last week. So I'm going to stick with Troy here. I think they've proven that they can beat all the good teams in the conference, and this is 1 versus 2 in the conference standings right now, and they have kind of separated themselves from the rest of the conference already. So I think Troy is able to kind of close the gap a little bit to Louisiana here.
Yeah, this is another great series. Louisiana recently just lost 2 out of 3 to Coastal Carolina. Troy just swept them on the road last week, so you kind of have the tell right there with the, matchups there. But I actually think I'm going to go with Louisiana on the road here. I think they've just been, a little more consistent throughout the year. Troy's definitely getting hot right now and certainly a contender to win this conference, but I think I just like Louisiana's makeup overall a little bit more. Also have that ranking bias as well, but I'm going to take them on the road here.
Yeah, I think if Troy is able to pull this off, they might be jumping in the rankings, but definitely need to see some positive results there for that to happen. And now, lastly, our 5th series prediction this week is number 21 Oklahoma State going to Texas. I feel like Texas has slowly built up a relatively decent resume. They've kind of been out of the sight of pretty much everybody for a very long time, which isn't what you're used to seeing for a squad like Texas, but they have slowly turned things around. This was a team earlier in the year that people were really down on after they struggled for a bit, and now they're one of the potentially top teams in the conference, and making a run here could really switch things up in the standings there. So I'm gonna go with Texas. I think just their consistency recently has been really good. Oklahoma State, definitely not a team to look past. One of the best in the conference, if not the best at this time, as the team that we have ranked here outside of any other teams in the Big 12. So it will be a tough test for Texas after they've built things back up against some mediocre competition. So definitely a test here, but I'm sticking with Texas.
Yeah, I think this is another really good series. Like you said, Texas has been consistent as of late. Had some, confusing weekends early on. Lost a weekend to BYU. That's not a team you expect them to drop a series to in the Big 12. One of the worst teams in the conference. But Oklahoma State's been one of the more consistent teams in the conference recently. Did drop a series to Kansas State recently, but they've been playing pretty well overall. I think I'm going to go with Texas here, given they're at home. Just like the way they've been playing recently. I think they may have their mojo back a little bit here, and I think it'll be a really good series, but I'm going to go with Texas at home.
Nice. So this week we'll do a lot for our cumulative overall numbers here with 4 agreements. So this could go either way. We'll see what happens, but hopefully we're on the winning side of things with our only disagreement with that Louisiana Troy matchup. So should be exciting to see the results of this weekend, but out of anything, want these games to be close and see some great college baseball. But besides that, keep an eye out later in the week, beginning of next week, for our podcast where we go through all the happenings that happened in the past week of college baseball, as well as our new rankings and going through what happened with these predictions as well. So keep an eye out for that. And until next time, see ya.